What's going on, and welcome in, everyone. I'm Aaron Pryor. This is Around the Rim. It's SEC Big 12 Challenge Weekend, 10 games across ESPN's networks with conference bragging rights on the line. The Big 12 owns the all-time series in this challenge and are 7-2 against the SEC this year. 3 games start off our morning, highlighted by number 24 Iowa State heading to Oxford to take on the 20th ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Iowa State's offense ranks first in the Big 12 and is led by the league's leading scorer, Marial Shayok. Though 4-3 in conference play thus far, the Cyclones' 3 losses have come by a combined 8 points. This is a really good Iowa State team led by Steve Prohm, and a win on Saturday morning over Ole Miss would certainly help push the Cyclones into February with a ton of positive momentum. Point guard comparison for this game, there you see Shayok leads down the list here compared to the number 2 leading scorer in the SEC, Brian Tyree, and his 17 points a game. This is a good matchup to keep an eye on and an important one. Ole Miss as a whole shoots at nearly a 49% clip. The Cyclones hold opponents to just 41% on the year. This game gets going at 11 a.m. along with Alabama taking on Baylor and Florida heading to Fort Worth to take on TCU. The Kansas State Wildcats are the hottest team in the Big 12 right now. The Cats started 0-2 in league play, but have rattled off 5 in a row, including a win on Tuesday night over number 13 Texas Tech. K-State will visit College Station to take on a Texas A&M team that will need to try to do what few have figured out over the years: how to stop Barry Brown. The Wildcat senior has been on a tear lately, averaging better than 20 a game in his last 5. Barry scored 15 points on 6 of 11 shooting in Tuesday night's win over Tech, hitting timely mid-range J's and 3-point shots, all while directing traffic and pushing the Cats to victory.
Just seeing the game, I feel like the game kind of slowing down. Even after my junior year, coming into this year, I felt like the game's kind of slowed down for me. I'm able to see certain things, certain guys kind of putting them where they need to be. Just kind of playing like a floor general role. And I feel like my 3-point shot's gotten a little bit better. Just being efficient all the way around is kind of something I kind of wanted to focus on, emphasize on.
Dean Wade has also come on strong after returning from his injury. K-State is 4-0 since his return and will look to push that winning streak to 6 in a row with a 1 p.m. tip on Saturday. A quick glance here at the full schedule for the day. There are those 3 morning games we mentioned. Oklahoma State and Texas will also jump at 1 p.m. Central Time, followed by Oklahoma hosting Vanderbilt and West Virginia traveling to Tennessee at 3 p.m. Central, before the nightcap features Arkansas heading to Lubbock to take on a Red Raider team that looks to get back on track. And the spotlight game of the night, Kansas visiting Kentucky. Now, we'll come back to KU versus Big Blue, but I want to focus on the Oklahoma Sooners here for a bit. A year after Trae Young ran through the league, OU has gotten back into much more of a balanced attack. When you have a top 10 NBA pick on your team, everything runs through them. And most don't have that luxury, the 2019 Sooners included. Oklahoma, though, is the number 1 rebounding team in the Big 12 and defensively is second in the league in opponent field goal percentage. Coach Lon Kruger knew that coming into the year, he didn't want one player in particular running the show. He just wanted somebody to step up.
I don't know that anyone expects to assume that role this year to that degree for sure, but I think they know that we need someone to step forward and be that guy that we can, get the ball to, late in the clock or late in the half or late in the game. Of course, everyone kind of wants that role, but then kind of careful what you wish for sometimes, because it's a tough role when you're the target, of the opposition. You've got to prepare a little differently, and we've really encouraged our guys to do that.
One guy that's getting more and more attention lately has been Christian James. The senior is one of 3 remaining players from that 2016 Final Four squad, along with Jimani McNeese and Rashard Odoms. They've played a lot of basketball in Norman. James is 4th in the Big 12 in points per game and 4th in rebounding. His 16.5 points and 7.5 rebounds per game lead a Sooner squad that picked up its first Bedlam sweep since 2016 earlier this week. And James knew coming into this year it was his time to step things up.
Last year I feel like I was kind of like a designated shooter. And I just want to evolve my game and just being an all-around player, making plays for others, being a better defender, more vocal on and off the court. So I feel like that's where I can expand my game.
As mentioned earlier, OU and Vandy will get going at 3 p.m. Central Time. Now, Kentucky and Kansas. College game day will be at Rupp Arena. This game is going to be quite a doozy. It's the 7th time in the last 8 years that these 2 Blue Bloods will get together. Kansas has won 13 straight over AP Top 10 opponents, including a 2-0 mark this season with wins over Michigan State and Tennessee. Marcus Garrett has really been stepping things up lately for Kansas. He's averaged 17 a game in his last 3, including a 16-point performance on Monday night against Iowa State. Bill Self earlier this week.
We look at him as being one of the premier players in our league. and he won't make anybody's all-league team just because of numbers. Now he'll make defensive, but it's hard to get awards from the public if you don't have numbers. But to your point, I think other coaches look at him and said he gets a lot done for a guy that doesn't really shoot the ball that much.
Coach Self also admitted earlier in the week that the Jayhawks would have to get creative in dealing with the sheer size that Kentucky brings to the table. I would expect Kentucky to work the paint early and often in this game. And I think it's ultimately going to be up to Kansas to keep up with scoring in other ways. They've put up more shots than anyone else in the Big 12 and lead the league in field goal percentage. Of course, we here at the Big 12 fully expect that trophy to come back to our offices when this thing is all said and done. Should be a fantastic day and night of games in this annual affair. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Around the Rim. For the Big 12 Conference, I'm Aaron Pryor.